Greetings and evening, all. This is Arm Bushido for Dry Sucks AR, and I thought I would just post a little video on some War Thunder news that just came out in the last couple of days. Two things. One, we've had the announcement that they will be breaking out the Italian aircraft into its own tree. Let's just take a look at this. So this is, I don't play War Thunder mainly for the aircraft, so this is for all that you do, of you guys that do. Still, this is very exciting to see another country added, that they are actually going to break the Italians out into their own line. As we know, they're currently under the German line. Let's see here. Let's flip over to that. Aviation. I believe they're over here on this side. Oh, somehow we ended up under the wrong one. I believe there we go. There's one right there, there, and there. And then it kind of ends right there and, of course, moves on. So it's going to be very interesting to see this breakout and how much they can fill out the Italian line for World War II. I know, and again, I am not the aircraft guy, so this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. Because I am not an aircraft guy, and I don't that familiar with how many aircraft or what aircraft the Italians had, say, from kind of the early 30s to, let's go to even 1949. I am just not that familiar, but it's exciting to see them add another country, which brings into another question. So right now, we have 5 countries. Each country has an aircraft. Each country has a armor line, and as you know, the Japanese line is a little weak, a little questionable. But would that mean that eventually we'd see an Italian armor line? And if so, how? Especially now we're getting to an area that I do know a little bit about, and again, it's very little, because even if you look at it, there wasn't a lot of Italian armor out there, at least through that period of World War II. The Germans supplied the armor brunt for the Axis, and it, there was some when Germany went to Africa and rescued basically Italy and Africa. What little bit there just didn't last very long. So, and it was all, you would probably, adhere to 1930s type designs. Anyway, it's still, again, like I said, it's very interesting that, hey, they're going to add another country. And again, this is my hope with War Thunder and the engine it has, that it can grow and expand and not go all the way to the end, to our current, as we've seen with the April Fools. I would love to see this go all the way to the very end, for as many countries we can do. I would love to see the War Thunder engine do the South Korean K2 Black Panther. I think it would just look phenomenal. Anyway, with that, there was also some other news. So again, before I switch, it looks like we're going to see an Italian aircraft line in the next update, which is being marked as War Thunder Update 169. So that is very interesting. So anyway, the next thing that came out is something that's in my mind been in development, or been mentioned several times, I think since 2012, but I could be wrong on that, is a world war. So looking at these screens, this looks really interesting, to say the least, and how this will play out. I'm very hopeful. This reminds me a little, and we'll go over some of the note details here in a minute. But from what I read from it, if any of you out there have ever played World War II online, it kind of has some reminiscence of that. My only concern, and there's a couple of statements in the development notes here that really kind of concern me. That may, and I want to, it's early, I don't even want to speculate how it's going to play out. But the first one was let me see here through the notes, and I'll have all these links in the down below, you guys can check out. But let me see here. I'm losing. I should have made marks on here so I could remember where the things I wanted. It talked about they're going to use realistic battle, but with markers, and I'm a little bit not fan of that. I moved on to realistic battles because I got tired of the pixel hunting in arcade, and the ability that you cannot. There's no hiding. There's no, especially with, like, say, a Nash horn, which is designed to sit at the rear and reach out and touch things at long range. And in arcade mode, there's just no hiding. There is just no hiding. And so I'm a little. I moved to realistic battles because I wanted. You know what? I want to be able to spot the target, and I want them to have to try to spot me. I don't want a big red flag above my head saying, "Here I am." But I'm not going to rail on that too much because, again, they do say, "Hey, let's see how it goes in testing." Maybe they remove it. I know this was tried once before. I think in early RB where there was markers, and everybody just said, "No, you got to get rid of that." And I agree. I've actually, the more I play realistic battles, the more and more I really enjoy it because it really teaches you that where you need to place your shot. 9 times out of 10, the reason I did not destroy my target because I didn't place my shot right. I didn't have this little reticle telling me, "Hey, here's the perfect spot." No, I need to know where to hit that vehicle. And also, I just don't want, and we wouldn't see that in this case. I apologize. Realistically, they won't have the pixel hunting, but still, I don't want to be just a big thing going over my head saying, "Here I am." The other thing was the mention about was the squadron thing. Again, I get it. However, currently I'm in a squadron that's kind of it's just a collaboration of gamers, and so we don't really do anything focused, I guess you could say, or gathering really, because it's just kind of people that play when they can play, and that's usually my play style. I have a full-time job, I have a family, and sitting down to play is kind of when I can do it, when I can fit it in. And so I'm a little skeptical that you have to be part of a squadron. Now, does that mean you have to go out and participate, or can you go, because again, with these large-scale events or large-scale battles that develop, and you take World of Tanks is what they do, it really doesn't allow the individual or the solo player, we'll call it, to get in there and participate a lot of times, and which is kind of sad. And I understand sometimes why that's the case, but I wish somebody could come up with a way for somebody who just likes to play, has an hour a night, or maybe even only has 2 hours a week. There are people out there that just cannot play. And to be able to come in, have fun, participate, feel like they helped move their side, whatever, and, and maybe it's that even if you have to make a declaration, say it's like a season or whatever, a quarter or whatever, you declare, "Hey, I'm with Germany, and you cannot get out of it. You're stuck with it for that whole time." And again, I don't know yet. I mean, again, I'm just happy they're announcing this, and hopefully this goes. Hopefully it turns out really well, and I'm kind of excited. Again, I'm very excited for War Thunder into the future. They are really, again, I've said this before. One, I like the fact that everything's in one client. I think their engine is very adaptable, even though some people kind of disagree because they're a little upset the way the naval forces are playing out. But still, I have a very optimistic view of War Thunder being the de facto game because they are really bringing everything together. I mean, so far, next to, like I mentioned earlier, World War II Online, there isn't really one that does that. World of Tanks, World of Planes, World of Warships are 3 separate clients. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, that was the 2 kind of the top things that came out this week, and I thought I'd throw up a quick video, give my thoughts, and hopefully we will see some, going forward, see some good action here. Again, very excited to see the Italian Air Force and World War Mode coming out for War Thunder. Again, this is all early development, especially on the War Mode. So I know a lot of people, I was reading some of the comments, kind of already jumping on the bandwagon. And it's like, you know what, let's just give it a moment, start seeing how it plays out before we start, throwing all the devs under the bus. And if it, if they deserve it, let's give it to them. But first, let's just see how it goes. But anyway, this is Armbushido for DrySox AR, and I hope you all enjoy this update. I'll be doing some more streaming this week, and just some general. I've been thinking about doing maybe some throwback games, kind of for people that have never maybe seen back when I started playing a lot of war games, and I'm thinking about maybe doing some throwback stuff and see how you guys like it. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great evening, and I will catch you later.